It's Wednesday, January 28th at 1:44 in the afternoon, and the dogs and I have come over to the Cataraqui Trail at Yarker, and we're heading west towards Curl Road. Not sure if we're going to get that far. As you can see, the trail is totally covered in deep snow. The snowmobiles have been packing it down since the major storm on the weekend, but it's still a bit spongy, so a little bit hard to walk on. But we'll see how far we get. It's minus 10 degrees with grayish skies, a little bit of sun coming through, and light snow falling. And it has been for the last hour or so. Just a very light, fine snow. As I walk along here, the most common thought I have is the one where I'm walking along here in midsummer and it's extremely hot because there's not a lot of shade. It might be 30, 32 degrees centigrade, and it's just got kind of a nice rural feeling to it. You can often walk along here and not see many people in the heat of the summer, just the odd passing cyclist and walker. And there's a fair amount of life to look at. Just had a bit of a surprise sighting along here. There was a yellow-rumped warbler down in the ditch when I was filming the water back there. I thought it was a sparrow at first, but I got a better look at it later, and it was a yellow-rumped warbler. I know they do stay around here occasionally in these red cedar shrub zones. I think they can actually feed on the red cedar berries, if I remember right. There certainly wouldn't be many insects to feed on at this time of year unless they can simply get enough by finding hibernating insects and larvae and pupal cases and things under the bark of trees, which I'm sure they do find some of, but it's hard to know if they'd get enough that way. Kind of an interesting day out. The skies have varied from fairly heavily overcast gray skies to high wispy gray skies that let the sun through. We're in a dark patch right now. There's not much sun getting through the clouds above us, and it has a totally different feeling than when we were walking through the time where the sun was peeking out and brightening things up quite a bit. So it's interesting how it can change from minute to minute along here today. and the light snow has been fairly steady. Okay, it's 2:33, so I think we're going to head back now. We're only about 400 meters away from Curl Road anyhow, so not too far. And it's been a bit of a slow walk along here today, so we've got our workout. So we'll head back and hopefully get some nice views on the way back. And then look forward to the warm car when we get there. So I just reconfirmed with Google as I was walking along that yes, indeed, yellow-rumped warblers do feed on red cedar berries in the winter, and to a large degree, they eat many of them where they have to survive, basically. And they're able to do that because they have high levels of bile salts in their digestive system to help digest the waxy, tough seed coat on the berries. So they're tough little creatures. And in this area, they would also feed on dogwood berries as well as poison ivy berries. So that sounds like a nice dinner, doesn't it? They're tough little creatures. I'm just realizing as I walk along here, I don't actually see many berries on these red cedars. In fact, I haven't seen any yet. Now, I'll look a little closer when I get up to the area where I actually saw the bird. But just on the cedars along the trail here, I haven't really noticed anything. I'll see up here what it looks like. Okay, here's a couple little berries. They're pretty rough looking things. But there's a couple there, or three. I've been seeing a few more red cedar berries on the shrubs along here, but certainly not large numbers of them. Sometimes they can be just covered with berries through the fall and winter. And I wouldn't say that's the case this year, so hopefully that little guy will have enough berries to eat. I'm sure he'll find more than I'm seeing with his sharp eyesight. And this is a huge area of red cedar forest, so I'm sure he'll find some. Oh, I can hear the yellow-rumped warbler again in here. So this is the area where the yellow-rumped warbler is. I just heard him again calling in here. He or she may like this running water back in here as well to come down and get drinks through the winter. Seems to be staying running and open even despite the extremely cold nighttime temperatures and daytime temperatures. Okay, it's 3:24 and we're just getting back to the parking area here in Yarker. Hope you enjoyed that walk along the Cataraqui Trail from Yarker to almost Curl Road and back. on this beautiful late January day. At -10, I'm surprised how warm it feels. After we've been getting -20s and -25s, -10 doesn't feel too bad. I've been doing quite a bit of bare hand work here this afternoon with the camera, and my hands aren't too cold. I think Zoe's ready to go. Bit cold, I think. Hey Zoe, are you ready to go? Are you ready to go?